Hey guys, Sparks back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. Mast got a redesign and we are all checking out her parrot, if you know what I mean. She is looking hot for our hot summer intermission before we get part 2. Sorry I'm late in the day with this video. I was up at 1 a.m. to try and make this, and then it actually turned out that they posted it at 2:20 a.m. my time or thereabouts. So I missed the actual launch of it. We're still figuring out this whole content creator thing. So hopefully you still find this video helpful or interesting, because I think there's actually a lot of interesting things about her kit. So let's go over her kit and make some predictions. First, I want to just straight up read her skills, and then we'll kind of talk about the implications of them. So she is an electric type burst 2 support unit with submachine guns, and her first skill is a passive that says activates when crit attack hits 2 times and affects the target with Sea Breeze, which is defense down by 1.9% of the caster's defense and stacks up to 50 times and lasts for 3 seconds. The second line says activates when HP falls below 70%, affects self and 2 allies with the highest attack. This is a theme with all of her skills, affects herself and allies with two allies with the highest attack, and it says crit damage goes up 50% continuously. Skill 2 activates when entering the battle, so right away when you start. Affects self, and again, 2 allies with the highest attack except the caster. Crit rate goes up by 23% for 30 seconds. And then her burst has a 20-second cooldown. We always love to see that. It affects self and 2 allies with the highest attack. Like I said, all the time, that's what the condition is. And then max HP goes up by 86.2% of the caster's max HP without restoring HP and lasts for 7 seconds. Crit damage goes up by 25% for 7 seconds. And then again, affects the target afflicted with Sea Breeze. That's the effect from her first skill. It deals 4.5% of final attack as damage and mirrors the stack count of Sea Breeze every 1 second for 7 seconds. Okay, so let's go back to skill 1 and kind of go through these skills one by one and talk about kind of how they actually work, or at least how I think they're going to work. We always need to do testing. These things, there's only so much we can do during analysis. But okay, so she uses SMGs. So looking at her skill 1 here, you can probably get this to trigger pretty fast because of the very high rate of fire and the very quick reload on SMGs. But one thing to note here is that it's defense down based on mass defense, not the enemy's defense. So this could make a big difference. It will probably be less than you would want because of this. Also, it doesn't say final defense, so this is probably just base defense. So this is dramatically lower than it probably you would hope, or it could be if it was actually based on final defense. There are still theoretically things you could do with this. I've seen people talk about crazy combos with like Frima and Yunhua and Pina for over 100% defense down. But I mean, realistically, like, who's actually going to be using this? But it's still kind of a fun, clever idea. Furthermore, generally attack is a higher stat relative to defense. So this is even worse than a base attack buff would be, even though you'd think like an attack buff and a defense buff might be kind of the same thing. Just because attack is higher, attack is going to be more useful. What I actually like more is the second line that increases 3 units crit damage when she is below 70% HP. More on that condition in a moment, by the way. But crit damage has never been really great, but 50% is a really big increase. So we could potentially see some actual crit builds here. Maybe use her with volume. I don't know, just saying, could potentially work. Skill 2 is probably the worst part of her kit. It could help with the Snow White's, first shot to avoid a lot of resets, if you're looking for a crit, or maybe you can do some immediate burst shenanigans. I don't know, but I think skill 2 is probably the weakest part of her kit. Now, her burst. Remember, it is going to increase her HP, but does not heal the amount of HP increased, unlike we see on a lot of skills that do increase max HP. But this is actually a really good thing, because at least at level 10, we don't know what it will be at lower levels exactly, but at least at level 10, this will instantly drop her below that 70% mark to trigger her skill 1, even if she hasn't actually taken damage. So this is actually super helpful, and the implications of that are big. If you have a bunch of stacks of Sea Breeze, this could actually do a lot of damage because it's doing 4.5% of attack, of final attack, and then mirrors the stacks of Sea Breeze. So this could potentially do a lot of damage, especially as just like a burst 2 support. I really see there could be potential in that. So overall, I think that Mast does have a lot of potential, actually. That said, remember, she is a normal unit. She is not limited. This is not actually part of our summer event. So she's probably going to be a pass for me, even though I would love to kind of like test her out and see some of the cool things, some of the potential that I think she has. But remember, we are getting Summer Part 2 probably right after this Mast event, if not like a couple weeks after that. So, you know, don't spend all of your resources unless you're a whale here. Otherwise, I think she is something that is probably worth pulling. And then after our Summer 2, when hopefully we're getting, you know, Swimsuit Anise, Hopium, then, you know, we're going to have Nikke coming up soon. So there's a lot to look forward to, and Mast can be put on the wish list. So just keep that in mind. But let me know if you're planning to pull for Mast, what you think about her kit. If you think my analysis was accurate, like I said, I think there could be some cool things to do, but let me know if I'm thinking about these things correctly or not. It's always good to get some more information from the community here. All right, I will catch you guys in the next video or on the next stream. Remember, this week's stream is going to be on Thursday, not the normal Wednesday stream. Oh, and if you haven't already and you're liking my content, please subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. It just takes a second, and if you like the videos, I know the algorithm kind of does all that for you. You don't need to bother subscribing. Nobody does that, but it really helps me as a creator to reach certain metrics. All right, thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next video.